It's the janitor. How's everyone doing? This is just a quick video. It's a story to tell. Um, Also, yeah, just to explain why I haven't been around for a couple of months. Just haven't got around to doing YouTube videos. It's partially to do with my ket use. I haven't been overdoing it, but it's my favourite sort of substance in some ways. Um, Unfortunately, I've had to deal with a best friend who I've knew for years since I was 17, 18. His name was Gary. Um, Very, very kindred spirit man. Um, he was like a father to me, and he was also like a brother because he treated me the same. When I had bipolar when I was younger, all my actual family kind of thought I was a bit mad and made me feel a bit mad, so I started to feel lost um, because of my super ego, believing that I was consciousness and I believed I was God and things like that, and they sectioned me. And then a few years later, Gary came into the pub and he knew my brother, but I became good friends with him, and he made me realise that the human race is lost, and you're not actually mad, but society will think you're mad. Um, and he was very open to things. He shared a lot of things with me, a lot of spiritual things. So he kind of kept me on the straight and narrow. Um, I don't take bipolar medication because it's nasty stuff. Okay, I do medicate myself because I'm using the wonk, the K. Um, but yeah, I've been using that just on and off. Really, I don't like go mad, but I've just been going a bit over the top lately because my mate died a couple of months ago. Um, Died back in March, so yeah, it's a few months now. So I'm just getting over him really. There's a picture of him. There, he was probably about 55. That was his age. He was very, very well, uh, you know, very well aged. Just does look so young for his age. He passed on when he was about 58. He was 58 when he died. He had Crohn's disease. Fortunately, he had it when he was a kid, and then they killed it. They got rid of the Crohn's, but it came back when he was 50, and he just started losing more weight, more weight, and yeah, at one point he thought he was going to die, and he was just starving himself with water, and just wanted to die in his own flat. In the end, he got into hospital. They sorted him out, put the Pepidrin or whatever it is they put into your arm to feed you food intravenously to get all the nutrients back into his body. And then he came out, he was fine. And a couple of weeks later, um, unfortunately, I found him choked on his own vomit in his flat. His face was all dry here, had all this discharge coming down here. He was on his mattress, just going, trying to grasp for air, and it looked like he'd been there quite a while. Um, I didn't suss at the time, so I got hospital to pick him up, take him to hospital. Um, but later on that evening, I realised that that morning I'd had a few dreams which were very significant. The first dream I had was my dad in the dream. It was saying, "Goodbye, son. You might not ever see me again." And Gary was like a dad to me. He was like a father figure, and he was also like a soul brother. He was just really, really open to things. He's well educated when he was younger. He studied human anatomy, biology, law. One of the most very good things to learn because with law, if you know what you're doing, you can actually refuse to pay council tax. I know a few people that don't pay council tax because of that, because of knowing their rights. I pay mine because I'm a dummy, uh, but I just need to learn a bit of law, really. But yeah, he passed on. I'd saved his life a couple of times already, where he pulled a bit of furniture on his head, knocked himself unconscious. That was like 10 years ago, and 3 years ago he fell over in the bathroom and couldn't get up. So yeah, I've got him into hospital twice already, but unfortunately the third time was just too late. at the time I was thinking, yeah, he'll be out in a couple of weeks. The ambulance was taking him, but that morning I had the dream of my dad in the dream, my actual dad, saying, "Goodbye, son. You're not going to see me again. Goodbye and take care." And I just shrugged it off. It was just a dream. Went in another dream. I was flying. I was astral planing. I was lucidly awake. I knew I was in my bed, and usually I'm distracted, and I usually wake up when I go into a good flying dream. I usually just keep waking up and keep checking myself, and I ruin the dream. So, oh, I'm in my bed, and I try going back to it, and I can't. But this dream went on for over an hour, at least an hour. In the dream, it felt like an hour and a half at least. It was like just over an hour, and I was flying, and I believe that was Gary leaving his body, grabbing me, showing me the way, showing me that he's okay. He's not gone. He's showing me that he's passing on. Took me with him, you know. And the next dream I had, I was holding a baby in my hand with all this light emanating off it. It was amazing. I did have a few lines of the night before, but that's not putting it down just because I had that dream. Because it can be quite powerful stuff. It does have a spiritual effect. Okay, it can actually have a spiritual effect on a person, but it needs to be taken with care. That's all. I'm not promoting drug use because most drugs are bad for anybody. It's best to be sober, take up meditation, and or just take some herbs, some homeopathic stuff, anything that's like helps to feel good. Um, but yeah, that evening I realised he had all this dry gunk on his mouth, and it's like if you're choking and you vomit for just 5 minutes, you're likely to die, and your brain starves of oxygen, and there's no activity going on in the brain after that. So I'd realised that no, he isn't going to come back, and I went into a panic attack a little bit. I did eventually go to sleep, but I realised, unfortunately, that was it. Um, yeah, he left that morning. Um, he must have choked around about 5, 6 in the morning, and then that's when I had those 3 dreams, and then I realised it was too late. He was gone. He was totaled. Um, yeah, he was in the hospital. His sister was saying he's mumbling for food and things like that. But they realised his lungs were so badly damaged that they had to switch him off. But he was a vegetable, I believe. He might have been mumbling, but it's the body. The body itself has its own brain down here, and he wanted something to eat, but he wasn't there. He was gone. I can guarantee you, he left. Um, I still get dreams of him in dream, sometimes guiding me, telling me various things I'm doing wrong, and I actually take it all fully to heart because I do believe that his spirit's ascended, but his soul is still here doing some work, doing some work on Earth. I think some souls do like stay on the Earth, like some people call them ghosts. But I think ghosts are more like memories that are sort of stuck in places, and like people's memories part of is a part of them, so they sort of become that ghost. But the soul is someone actually doing work, just working on Earth for various reasons. But I definitely believe he definitely guides me and comes to me now and then in a dream to tell me. It doesn't tell me. I just get the perceptions of things that come to me. I see him, but I don't like hear him speak his words fully. But I have seen him and said, "Yeah, you're just a soul at the moment, aren't you?" Or whatever. And he's like, "Yeah." He sort of kind of says, "Yeah." The dream I had last week, just 9 minutes. Yeah, he turned into a Jamaican. He was Gary. Then he suddenly started getting darker skin and started getting these short dreadlocks, um, which could mean that he's ascended and he's doing very well. He was a very good man. I really miss him. But that's why I haven't been around for a couple of months. Been dealing with substance misuse and yeah, all the rest of it. Not overdoing it, but just enough to sort of take me off what I want to do. Like, I have recently bought this though. I'm really looking forward to playing it. It's got this sequencer. I'm just going to show you quick. So you use these buttons. Use these buttons to sequence, or you can use the keys. Use the keys to mute the buttons. It's really, really cool. I've only just found this out. Right, it's that sequencer. You can press these plastic buttons, but you can use these keys to mute and unmute. But yeah, bassline synthesizer and drum machine, and it's got a lot of sample tracks where you can put little sample chops. It's not a full loop or a sample, but you can do little loops up to, I think it's 16 seconds, and you've got 2-second samples that you can do little cuts. So I'm looking forward to putting some samples into it, and because I go out and play techno, don't I? I'm a techno performer when there's anything going on. I've got my music on my Electribe, and I've got my music on my Model Cycles. So I'm still, yeah, I'm still doing my music. Just been busy. Friends coming around as well, and like little distractions, looking after others, lending people money, getting it back because they're my trustworthy mates. I don't lend money to people I don't trust. So if they do end up like, not paying any money, they can f off, and I'll never ever lend them any more money again. But no, yeah, I haven't been around for a couple of months doing my music because of substance use, and also my friend dying as well. And for quite a while, he's been wanting to just go off this planet, or wanting to just go somewhere else and get out of this state that he's in. He was going to have the reverse operation during COVID, and unfortunately, due to Boris Johnson's announcements, all the hospitals are put on hold, and his operation was put on hold. So, yeah, I blame fucking COVID and all this shit that happened because he was about to have his intestine stitched back down to his lower intestine rather than having this hole with a bag in it. So yeah, it's really did want to get fucking back to normal, but since then he's just gone downhill since COVID. Uh, but yeah, finding him was pretty tough. I knew straight away that he was a goner just by the way his face was dry. I didn't want to think he was. I had the hope that he was going to be okay, but he just wasn't. Um, but yeah, he's a good man. He's always going to be up there somewhere, um, or down on this realm, like his soul, keeping an eye on things and checking everything's okay. That's just what I believe anyway. Like, I've seen him a few times in the dream, giving me little warnings if I'm taking too much of this or I'm doing too much of that, and kind of helping me. Obviously, I've got to help myself. So, but yeah, enough of my rant. That was just about my mate passing, and that I've been a bit caught up in a little bit of substance misuse. Nothing bad, like I said, just the painkiller, the wonk stuff. But other than that, I'm absolutely fine. And had my dentures put in March, so I finally got my dental stuff done and dusted. That's going to cost me £1,600. Apart from losing my dentures a couple of weeks ago, that was a bloody nightmare. But anyway, thanks for watching. Glad I found my dentures. I was going to pay £700 for a new pair. Luckily, before the new ones were printed, I found them and then notified the dentist. Yeah, too much K. I took them out and forgot, but I put them on the chair. I put them underneath the sofa for some reason. I put them on the floor, and for some reason they ended up under the settee, and I didn't see them for 3 weeks. Always losing stuff. Everyone can relate to that. Losing things is so easy. It's so easily done if your memory is a bit poor. Anyway, thanks for watching. Take care and good night.